Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Yasmine Flores and welcome to another episode of the Arts at EPCC. This episode is sort of a part two to our episode with Mr. Marco Sanchez, who's here with me today from the art department, and he brought with him several students, and so this is actually the second half, and so we have a couple more. And this is Lorena. Tell me your last name, Lorena.
Hernandez.
Excellent. Lorena Hernandez and Michelle?
Espinoza.
Fantastic. And the two of you are art majors, is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent. And so you all brought your artwork today. Let's talk a little bit about the club. So you all are a part of this art club, yes? Mm-hmm. And so with our previous guests, they sort of told us a little bit about the, I want to call it Halloween Fest, but the Fall Fest that you all had. And so she said that you all painted some things, is that correct?
Yeah, so we were actually doing caricatures of the people that came to our stand.
Okay, that's what I didn't understand what she said, and I wanted to be polite. I didn't ask. I was like, she said something, and so okay, so you were drawing. So how long does it take you to draw those caricatures?
We took about maybe 8 to 10 minutes with each.
Okay.
Since we did, we had multiple, so we had one person, two people, and then 3 and more.
Okay.
I did a couple of couples, so those took me about 10 minutes each, maybe 15 at most.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. Were you there that day as well?
I was actually absent.
Oh, okay, you weren't there. Okay, awesome. And so what are some of the other things that you all want to do with the club that you would hope? Let's hypothetically say, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to give money to clubs. And so FYI, right? It wasn't a lot. So it depending on the size of your club, right? I think it was a small pool of money, but it was at least a couple thousand that they would give you either for travel, to go somewhere, to check something out. So I can speak from music standpoint, and we went to Texas Music Educators one year. And another year we actually went to Arizona. So so I don't know, what kind of things are you all interested in doing as a club?
I think the idea of visiting other museums and getting to see art from different places would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm from Colorado,
okay.
So specifically Denver. So it'd be really neat to go. I mean, maybe Denver's a little far, but to see the Denver Art Museum or even anything around that would be really interesting, and get to share that. A different part of the U.S. and different art that we get to see. That's
super cool. That would be fantastic. Yeah, definitely look into that. I don't know how things, because I did the music club, gosh, I think this was before the pandemic. And so a lot of things have changed since then. But that's really awesome. So you all would want to check out some museums. What are some of your inspirations when you draw?
Well, I draw mostly from an emotional standpoint.
Okay.
So it's a lot of deeper feelings that I pull from, just what I'm feeling at the moment. I do a lot of more figurative drawings. So I draw people and try to represent that turmoil in real life.
Sure.
So that's usually what I try to go for.
Okay, that's really awesome. And how about you, Michelle?
I think I also draw from an emotional standpoint and also do figurative, but I like to focus more on the world around me. So a lot of my inspiration comes from animals around me, and a lot of the times the people my loved ones and those that I see around me. So I want to transfer that into my art and maybe add a little bit of symbolism onto that. So that's mostly where I draw from.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite animal to draw?
Lately, I've been drawing birds. So
birds. I love birds. If you have paintings of birds, please show them to me, because I might buy them. Because
You're in luck.
I know.
You're in luck today.
Excellent. Okay. So we have some artwork with us, and first of all, we've got the first one on display. Who is this a painting?
No, it's actually it's printmaking. So it's actually from a linoleum block. I carve it, and whatever I carve away, that's going to be the white part, and then whatever stays on is going to be the black. So I actually roll ink, and then it's like a stamp.
Yeah.
So we press it, and then we get the design.
That's so cool. And then how long do they just last forever? Essentially, you can just keep rolling ink on it and
I guess it
stamp.
depends on like the medium you use.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how long because I'm like fairly new, so my
Okay.
pieces are pretty fresh.
Right,
So I don't
sure.
actually know how long they take.
Okay.
Lorena, for printmaking, Lorena is actually like self-taught. She hasn't taken a print course yet.
Okay.
You did a little bit of this in high school?
I did, yes.
So she did a bit in high school. She hasn't taken the printmaking course at EPCC yet, but hopefully we'll have her there soon. So she does come in and as part of the club, I'm like, yeah, great. Like you want to do this, you're already involved, you love the medium. That's what we want to see, that energy, that excitement. And this was a piece that she had already worked independently and then with different inks and stuff, like on her own, trying to print on her own. I was like, hey, well, we have everything. Let's clean it up a bit and we'll print it, and it's came out like pretty clean. And
That is, I was gonna say, it looks like it's painted. So I would have never imagined. My imagination when I think of print, the printmaking, is that, and you can correct me, because you mentioned linoleum, right? I thought it was wood, like a block of wood that was chipped away at, and then you roll the ink on the block of wood. So I was expecting to see like flecks or something, it's imperfections in the wood.
so that's you're very correct on that, because wood's organic, linoleum is inorganic.
Okay.
Linoleum is rubber, so you're gonna get a very flat, very just
Clean. This is very clean.
Very flat, very clean, sharp. We also have a wood block that Lorena brought because she had never worked on wood, and it's like, yeah, I have wood, but we have some wood panels here, and I give her one of the really bad ones, which I had other good ones, and this one, you do see the grain, the openness of the grain.
Yeah.
And when you roll up, you see the grain and how it's open. So then when you transfer, you also see that grain, which can be beautiful if it's a nice, like hardwood.
Right.
We're in Texas. We're in the desert. We don't have like nice hardwoods for an accessible cost to carve. So
Yeah.
and we have a lot of plywoods, and they're not the best. But
Sure.
Lorena wanted to try. I was like, yeah, here, carve this piece of wood.
Okay.
I think she did a great job for the quality of the stuff that we gave her. But so can we show that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Show that one. So this is a linoleum block, and then here, or a lino cut. So it's printed from a linoleum block,
Okay.
right? And then we have an actual block, which is smaller, but you can see the wood grain, right? And it's just how open it is. It's an open grain, which isn't that great when you have a tighter grain, like what you would see, even in the easel, like that hardwood that's like a softer grain. You can still see like really faint grain on there, but this is just too much.
Now, okay, so let's talk about this. So the actual thing that's there is a block of wood.
This is the block of wood, yes, if
Okay.
you care to.
Okay, yes, if you don't mind,
No, please.
I will try to be as gentle. And then I'm going to put this under here because it causes an issue with lighting. Yes, thank
I'm
you.
seeing that. Yes, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
it's like,
I
oh, my
saw
face
that.
is suddenly brighter, right?
I did see
Okay,
that.
so to kind of show everyone, and I don't know if the camera's going to focus in on it, but what I love, so this is a block of a little chunk of maybe like a plywood, right?
Yeah.
And so you carved into this. What are you using? Is this an X-Acto knife?
No, it's actually like carving tools.
Oh, okay.
So they have like different like blades, like a V gouges. And stuff like
Okay.
that.
Do you use a pencil first to draw?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And then you do this pencil, and then you start to slowly work with these little. Does it involve like a hammer, like chipping
Oh no,
away?
you just like it's kind of like a blade, so you just smoothly just glide through the wood.
Okay.
They are incredibly sharp tools.
Okay.
If you were to have a thicker wood, a thicker like an actual hardwood,
Yes.
then many times, especially the Japanese wood block prints, they do use like mallets to carve away like larger areas. But for these, the tools are incredibly sharp.
Right. Okay.
I think either one of your, both of your
We
fingers
have
could
nicked each
attest
other's.
to how sharp they
Oh,
are.
wow. Okay. So y'all don't wear like a protective gloves or anything like that when you're using it?
I feel like usually if you're really careful the
Yeah.
way you do
Yeah.
it, it's less likely for you to nick yourself.
Okay. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. And so I would love to see something like this, like on mahogany, like the African blackwood, the one of those darker, like where it's a really dark color and the contrast. Now, speaking of, so that's another good question. How do you get the contrast? Oh, this is the original color of the wood, right? Got it. And then you painted it because that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Got it.
We stain it red, so it's easier to see when you're carving. And then the black is from already being rolled up and printed. So this block's already been printed.
Oh, I see. Okay. How cool. This is beautiful. And don't forget to carve in your little name. I'm telling everybody today, add your name because you can sell it.
Because these are the matrices. These are just meant to have the multiples. Oh. And some artists like Albert Dürer did inscribe their signature or monogram. And they would print from that. But for this, like you could just sign with pencil, and always with pencil too. So we always sign your piece with pencil.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because many times too, when an artist is done with your matrix, with your plate, these are, you can cancel them if you're not going to print anymore. If you're maybe commissioned by, I don't know, the Library of Congress to do a piece about whoever,
right?
And you're done. They wanted 500 prints. They can print the 500, and then you can cancel a plate by just like crossing an X. That's called canceling a plate. So that's why you would never sign, really, carve your name onto a block. Don't cancel it.
Don't cancel it. It's too beautiful.
Yeah, but no, it is beautiful work. And again, for not taking a class in higher education just yet at printmaking, her understanding of lights and darks, because you have to work reductively. You have to think in a negative sort of space.
Right.
But yeah, it's like beautiful. Understanding of that.
There's something to be said, and sometimes I mention this to my music majors. There's something to be said about having a natural gift.
Yeah.
And because everyone in the world has a natural gift for something, right? Something in the world. Whether your gift is to be chatty, which seems to be one of my gifts, apparently. If it's to play the clarinet loudly, if it's to whatever it may be, if you're able to stumble on what that is, right? And then you have somebody to nurture that, right? Which is Mr. Sanchez. It's amazing what you can do, right? And it's just really, I think back to my teachers, and I hope that you guys freeze frame this. You'll have this episode for the rest of your lives, hopefully, right? Somewhere on the internet. And so I think when you all start to go on to UTEP or to NMSU, wherever you're headed, or outside, right? UT Austin, we started kind of going outside. And you think back to your teachers, you're going to remember Mr. Sanchez and some of the things that he's taught you, etc. So this is incredible. What I want to show all the artwork that we are looking at today. Let's move to the next piece.
So the first two are Lorena's.
Okay.
And then we'll show another lino cut. This is the actual print, and this is one of Michelle's.
Oh, beautiful. That is really stunning. So now, tell me a little bit about this, Michelle. Is the plate itself a round thing?
Yeah, so it was a block, so you saw how Lorena's was like an actual like rectangle.
Yes.
My block used to be a rectangle, but I carved around the edges and we cut it so that it could become
a circle.
A circle, yeah.
Okay. And so what is your inspiration for this piece?
For this one, so I'm currently working on a series. This is for Mr. Sanchez's class. And I decided to work on a series that focuses on magpies, so like little birds. And this is the second part of the series. And so there's a poem, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's like a magpie nursery rhyme.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know where it's from, but basically, depending on the number of magpies that you see, like on like your day or something, it depends the kind of luck that you're gonna have. So it's like 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, and like a little like different things for each number.
Yeah.
So I'm placing different amount of birds in each different image and focusing on that.
Yes, and so this is 1 for sorrow.
Yeah.
I love that. These magpies, are those the ones that are kind of like parrots?
They're kind of like
corvids.
Like corvids,
they're corvids. So corvids are ravens, crows, magpies, and a few other birds are part of the corvid family, which they're all incredibly smart. One would argue that they're as smart, as a parrot, how parrots can be smart.
Okay, so can they imitate speech?
They can, they can speak. I think crows or ravens can speak better than like parrots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. I see so many parrots on Instagram on those reels I'm watching, and people have them at home and whatnot. So that's really cool. They are creepy little birds. I lived in Iowa for for what felt like a hot minute, and there was a lot of crows. And they're bigger than I thought, because we're used to either the sparrows or these grackles, right? We have and the grackles are also rather kind of creepy.
Corvids.
Yes, yeah, okay. So they're also in that family. So yeah, they're a bit creepy looking as well. But however, beautiful in a way because of the way the feathers shimmer when they have like a blue shimmer to them, right? So they're actually quite beautiful birds. We're annoyed by them in general. They eat dog food. They eat everything. It's like, oh my gosh, go away. But this is beautiful. I love the roses too. Are these? So I can't draw a flower to save my life. I do the generic, right? What? Little. How do you draw flowers? And this sounds dumb, but you have different types. So on the left, I'm gonna start super analyzing this picture. It looks more like a tulip. Right over here on the left because it's cupped. And then as you go further down, you have, are these roses or are they carnations? What are they?
Yeah, they were meant to be roses.
Into roses, okay.
All of them are kind of stylized in a way, but I tried the ones that are like bigger to actually look like roses.
Yeah. Is that an owl on the top?
Here?
Yeah.
No, it's an open, like where light is shining through, like an opening within the foliage.
Okay. I was seeing, I'm starting to see things in this. That might
Up
not
to
be
interpretation.
There. Right, yeah, exactly. I'll show you afterward where I thought I saw an owl right there at the top. But this is gorgeous. So what other artwork?
We do have one other piece from Michelle, and
yes,
again, it's also part of the series of Corvid. And this was the first piece, but I'll let her speak more about it. So you're in luck, and this is her first piece. It's also a print. It looks like a drawing.
But it's a print.
Yeah.
So what was the material made of?
So this is a lithography. So we used an aluminum plate, and then you draw onto it with a special pencil, and then you go through like a whole chemical process to make sure that the pencil is like the part that is gonna pick up the ink. But essentially, you get this kind of pencil texture because it's what you're using on your actual plate.
Got it. When you say that, I think of, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, have you ever seen like old buildings where the ceiling is copper?
Yeah.
It's those copper like squares, right? But they put them on usually as larger plates. And the modern ones that are replicas, I don't know what the original ones were, but the modern ones are sold like in huge rectangular sheets, and then they just kind of paste them on, right? But the original ones might be more intricate. But that's what I'm thinking of. So lithography, what, you say a plate. What is a plate made of? What kind of metal?
It's aluminum. So
aluminum, okay.
Yeah.
So lithography actually started as on stone lithography in 1790, 92, 96.
Okay.
In Germany, specifically Bavaria, like they were all printed from Bavarian limestone.
Okay.
But these aluminum plates, they're bald grained, so then what they're trying to do is emulate the texture of that really flat limestone, Bavarian limestone.
Okay.
So as to pick up the textures of a pencil, and so that it's not flat, it has a bit of a tooth.
Yeah.
So that when you roll ink, like the ink stays within that tooth of the ball grain plate.
Right.
But yeah, it's an aluminum ball grain plate that we've drawn it with a pencil for lithography, and then you process it chemically. So then you kind of get a stencil of where you drew that stays onto the plate because of the chemical etching. And then when you're rolling ink, your drawing is the only thing that should take ink. Think about this. If you have a roller with ink and you roll it on anything, everything should take ink. Right. But because of how we process this place chemically, and the stencil that forms because of the pencil and the chemical process, the only thing that should pick up ink is your drawing image and not your non-image area.
Got it.
So besides the art part of it, the drawing part, like we also at least with printmaking, we do a lot of chemistry involved. So
Okay.
we're not just, artists, like visual artists. We're
Uh-huh.
also kind of like little witchy
Magicians.
chemics. Yeah, something.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I'd never thought of that aspect of artwork,
Yeah.
and it's pretty amazing. These are all really beautiful, and so I guess my question to you also, I can ask you all the same question that I asked the other two, which is, where do you all see yourselves in 10 years?
Okay, yeah. I definitely still feel like I would dedicate most of my art to printmaking. I think that's gonna be my thing.
Okay.
They're both great.
Bias.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, I definitely see myself staying here in El Paso,
Uh-huh.
maybe working at a museum, but mostly focusing on like my own art, maybe eventually selling them more. And I also kind of see myself doing more education, so maybe like a master's or even just a master's, yeah. I was like, wait, not that far.
Right.
Yeah, I just really just want to dedicate my life to art.
How
really how I see
beautiful.
myself.
That is so awesome. And so how about you, Michelle?
I'm not very sure where I'm going.
Right.
I'm hoping to pursue when I transfer to a 4-year university to pursue graphic design with a
Okay.
minor in printmaking.
Nice.
So I've been liking what I've been working on this semester with Mr. Sanchez. So
Yes.
I definitely want to continue working it. But for the future, I'd like to definitely further my education, get a master's in something if possible, and maybe look at other art scenes in other cities. I grew up in Juarez, and like I live in Juarez, so it's always been like kind of a dream of mine to go and explore new places. So I definitely see myself living elsewhere and
Sure.
exploring a new art scene somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so awesome. And so I think, I mean, my goodness, this is stunning. And I guess, so I'll tell you what I told the other girls as well, which is look for places to sell your artwork, right? The farmers markets are a great place, but you can also find cafes if you can work something out with the owner, right? Where you, and especially a series. The cafes love to do series of things along the wall, right? And so we were talking a little bit about that. And so now let me ask you, how old were you? When did you know? Like, this is I really enjoy doing this. How old were you when you discovered it?
I mean, like art's been I wouldn't say love-hate relationship, but I was definitely like
Right.
in denial for a bit.
All right.
Because I would say my moment where I said like I actually want to do this as like a career more seriously was when I actually was in college.
Uh-huh.
So I'd been doing art seriously since like middle school,
Okay.
like putting more attention into it.
Right.
But I thought I was headed like down another career path, and I enrolled at the community college to pursue. I wanted to eventually get into linguistics, but I realized that actually art is my passion. I was taking art appreciation during my first semester, and I'm like, this is what I want to do.
Oh,
this is really what I'm
sure.
passionate about.
Right.
So, end of my first semester at the college, I changed my major to art, and I've been here ever since.
That's so awesome. That's really
and not
terrific.
for much longer.
Right.
She's
Exactly.
transferring. It's her last semester with us. So.
Right. That's the depressing thing about that
Yeah.
community college, is that you all are here for a couple of years and then you're out, you're done, right? So now, how about you? What do you? How old were you when you?
Well, I feel like I've always been an artist, and
Okay.
I think a lot of that goes with my mom. She's very supportive with everything that I do,
That's
so she really
awesome.
pushed me.
That's great.
So back in Denver, I really started elementary, like kindergarten. My art teacher really saw that this was something that I really loved to do, and she kept pushing me further and further than other students. Eventually, I transferred around 4th grade to it's called Koonsmiller Creative Arts Academy.
Okay.
So that whole school, I went there from 4th grade to when I graduated, was solely really focused on art. So pretty much my whole life has been evolved around arts, different forms of art. I've done music, dance, theater even.
Okay.
So it's been all around me. I've always loved art.
That's so awesome. And that's so wonderful to hear that you have a supportive parent. And let me tell you, I think in all seriousness, I meet so many students here at EPCC and just, you know, in the city of El Paso, and not just El Paso, but I meet a lot of folks that when they're older, they'll say, I really wish I would have pursued music, right? But my parents wanted me to XYZ, become a lawyer, become a doctor, become a whatever. And I think a lot of parents overlook this, and I'm looking at you guys at home. Hello. If a person finds something that they're genuinely passionate about, right, that they wholeheartedly love, that they can't picture themselves doing anything else in their life, right? That person's, the money's going to come. The money will show up. All right. Like one way or another, I can't ask me 10 years ago, are you going to have a TV show? No, what? Right. I mean, and here I am doing something that I never thought I was going to enjoy as much as I have. Still playing the clarinet this Friday, as a matter of fact, doing all these exciting things that are beyond my imagination from a decade ago or 2 decades ago. So it's true. Follow your heart, and the money will show up. I know it's tough. You'll have to work hard. There will be sacrifices will be made. Trust me. Hello. I remember Amarillo News, 4 a.m. I had to be there to play the clarinet with a group at 4 in the freaking morning. Oh my gosh, I was so mad. But we got there and we played it, and it was fun. It was fantastic. So I will keep an eye on everyone's little names 5 or 10 years from now. And I want to see the series of the Magpies, right? I want to see the beautiful prints that I saw, Demira's artwork, Savi's artwork. I want to see all these beautiful things and what you all do. When you paint this mural that we speak of, I hope that works out. Let me know. We'd like to take some pictures and showcase that. Thank you so much for being on the show. And if you all are interested in majoring in art, or any of your kiddos at home are looking at art, check out epcc.edu. Just type EPCC and the art department, and you will find the art website, which will tell you all about the degree plan and the different programs that we have here at EPCC. If you have a person that's going to be an incoming freshman, have them contact Sadella Aguilar or Brack Morrow at EPCC, and they can help them with the art degree. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you all for joining me. All right, folks, take care until next time.